So if you all didn't see, I created an original tag that I call the end of the year book awards tag, and so far the reception has been amazing. Thank you so much. Please keep doing your Twitter threads, leaving comments down below, creating your own videos, letting me know. I want to see what your answers are. But yeah, I'm here to film my answers to my end of the year book awards tag. We'll start with the very first category, and I said favorite book, so we're meant to pick a favorite book, one that was released in 2019. Now I'm saying released in 2019 because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of those books were books that I ended up reading in 2019, but they were not necessarily 2019 releases, because you know I didn't read that many 2019 books and I didn't want it to seem like too stressful. So if it is that maybe you read a book, but you read a book this year, but it wasn't released this year, but it fits any of these categories, then yeah, sure, you can do it. But ideally, we should try and keep it to as many 2019 books as possible. So anyway, my favorite book of the year, my favorite 2019 book of the year is, of course, The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. I keep talking about it. I'm certain you've seen my favorite books of the year video, so you already know my thoughts about it. But I love that book. I love the world building. I love the story. I love R.F. Kuang. So yeah, definitely Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang for my favorite book. My underrated book of the year is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. I love that book. I adored that book. I don't think a lot of people are talking about it as much on BookTube. A lot of people just keep saying that, oh, it was meant to be like Six of Crows. Everybody says it's like Six of Crows, but it's not like Six of Crows. And I'm like, sorry, it's not like Six of Crows. It's not meant to be like Six of Crows. It's its own story, and it's pretty amazing, and it's pretty unique, and I think it is paid dust. Oh my god, it's paid dust. Like, underrated book of the year, definitely Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. My DNF of the year, you all know I do not DNF books, but a book that came really close for me was Neanderthal 6 Human by Penny Reid. That was the first book on Audible that I actually listened at times 3 to times 3.5 the speed. So most of it I definitely glanced over because I was just so if I could DNF, that would definitely be a book I would have DNF'd in a heartbeat. Hated it. Okay, so the fourth category said Backlist title of the year, and for that I chose Sadie by Courtney Summers. I think that book just was revolutionary. The way in which it was told, the way in which the story gripped me. I'm still in recovery, even though I read it at the start of the year. That book still haunts me till today. So good, so good. Okay, my best debut author. Now this has to be an author that like debuted in 2019. And for me, I'm going with Casey McQuiston. I think that their book Red, White, and Royal Blue was just amazing for me. Was one of my favorite books, and like when I read it, I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe that Casey McQuiston, like this is their first book and it's so good. And I'm looking forward to all the other books that they write, but definitely my best debut author. And then the next category says favorite male character, and for that I am going with Jude in Steadfast, written by SARINA BOWEN. This is not a 2019 book, but Jude is a character that I discovered and met this year. Is tenacity, the way in which this person who is a recovering addict, being in his head, seeing how daily he strives hard to do better by those he has disappointed, to do better for himself, to not give into his addiction. That force of will, that strength of a spirit was just so beautiful to read about in Steadfast. Like definitely my favorite character that I discovered this year. Absolutely favorite. Okay, so favorite female character has to be Galaxy Alex Stern. My girl Galaxy has been through hell and back again, and came back ready to draw blood with her teeth, and I just love how ferocious she is. I love how determined she is. I love how she just keeps pushing forward, and like I repeat, my girl has been through hell. She deserves all the love. She does not get enough praise, but she deserves all the love. I love her so much. I love Galaxy so much. Like a lot of people, love Darlington, for example, and I am more of an Alex Stern fan. Like she's my absolute favorite female character of the year. Favorite non-binary character. It was when I was doing trying to put together my answers, I realized that I actually did not read any books with non-binary characters this year, and that is so heartbreaking. Definitely something I intend to change in 2020, but I don't have any answers for that category. The next category says most hated book villain, and for me I am definitely going with Kathleen in The Unlikely Event. I know there are worse villains, there are villains that have done committed atrocities that I ran into this year, but I'm sorry, this girl raped somebody and claimed that it was because she loved him, and I'm just like, nope, sorry, nope, hard pass. Definitely hated her. When she showed up as a ghost in the book, I was just like, girl, I'm going to use holy water and exercise your fucking ass goose. Get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away from this fucking ass book. So yeah, definitely Kathleen in the Unlikely Event. I cannot stand that bitch. Cannot stand her. Okay, best ship of 2019 for me, maybe Feyre and her self-confidence. As much as I love my girl Feyre, and I was just happy at how she discovered herself in the rest of the books in the ACOTAR series, I think that my favorite ship has to be the ship that is Mia and Aisling, my two mothering girls, like falling in love, like in the Nevernight Chronicles, and seeing that conclusion in Dark Dawn. Like, she came back, she legitimately came back for her. Like, best ship ever. Mwah! Your ship wishes. Okay, so the 11th category says best ensemble, and for that I am definitely going with the Inner Circle in the ACOTAR series. I love them. I love the individual strengths. I love the fact that I love them as individual characters, and I loved how they were as a unit together. So yeah, definitely the Inner Circle. Like, they seem more like a family. They seem more like good friends who have become family. Like, I would say that soon, maybe in the second book, the gang in the Gilded Wolves would have gotten to that point. But yeah, the Inner Circle definitely gave me Six of Crows. Like, we love each other. We are all individuals, but we all work together as a unique vibe, and I loved it. Okay, so the next category says Saddest Book, and for that I am going with Broken Night by LJ Shen. I hated this book, but this book made me cry so hard because there's a character that we thought had gotten a happy ending that ended up dying in this book. Yes, it was legitimately all about, you know, the characters dealing with this character dying, and it was so sad for me because I also lost my stepfather over an extended period, like over an extended illness. So I know how it feels to see someone you love slowly wither away and die. And that book was just so sad for me because of the fact that it brought back those memories, and it's been gone now for 6 years, but it's still a pain I feel. And just reading that book, I broke down in tears, I'm not gonna lie. And then the funniest book I read this year has to be The Score by Elle Kennedy. I can't help it. I laughed so hard. Like, it was hot, it was smoking, it was sexy, so sexy, but it was so funny, and I laughed so hard. I love the cheesy jokes. I love the references, the pop culture references. I also love the characters. I love Dean and Ali, but like the book was funny. I laughed a lot. So yeah, that was the funniest book I read this year. The next category says book world you want to live in, and the book world I want to live in that I discovered this year has to be The World Into All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. If you all think I'm going to pick a fantasy book, you're deceiving yourself, because I do not want to die. I most likely would die in a fantasy book. But this is a contemporary book, and not just any contemporary book. It's soft, it's sweet. I can hang out with Lara Jean. She can make me cookies. I'm going to be 16 again. There are so many hot boys, and it's just warm and fuzzy and cute, and I just love that world. So yeah, definitely The World of To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Okay, and then the 15th category said most dysfunctional relationship, and I'm definitely going to go with the relationship between Vicious and Emilia in Vicious by LJ Shen. Like, I love those two characters. I love that book. You all know how much I love that book. But I'm not gonna lie, their relationship was fucking dysfunctional, but I still love it anyway. But it was dysfunctional. See, you can admit the fact that your faves are flawed and still love them. Like, that is how it's done. This is how it's done. Okay. The next category says best romance book of the year, and I'm definitely going to have to give it to A Prince on Paper by Alyssa Cole. I swooned, I smiled, I grinned, my face was all eaten up, I blushed. Like, that book checked so many boxes for me. I loved it so much. Okay, and then the best sci-fi book of the year, I did not read that many sci-fi books, which is sad, but I think I will definitely be giving this to Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Like, that book was engaging. It was science fiction. It was science fiction for me at a very, very high note, and I loved every moment of it. I love the twist, I love the turns, I love the AI. Oh god, Eden, like, definitely Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Best thriller / action book of the year, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to once again give it to Sadie by Courtney Summers. Like, this book had me on the edge of my seat from the start to the very end, and that end still devastated me, but it still had me hooked. So yeah, definitely Sadie by Courtney Summers. Like, that is a thriller. The next category said best horror book of the year. Unfortunately, I did not read any horror books this year. I do intend to. I have some all laid out for me to read next year, so hopefully next year's responses will be better, but I didn't read any horror books this year, so I can't choose. The 20th category says best fantasy book of the year, and for that I am going with Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. I'm sorry, like, I love that book. The fantasy, the world that Libadugo brought in, the everyday world meets the supernatural meets the occult, all woven in, was just perfection. Like, I loved it. And then there's best contemporary book of the year, and for that I am definitely giving that to On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. Like, that was a contemporary book. Like, my mind is still blown. The story that she gave us, oh my god, Bree, the love of my life, Bree, my rapping daughter Bree, like, definitely On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. Okay, best period book of the year I am giving to CIRCE by Madeline Miller. It's Greek mythology. We were legitimately right there and then. I could see this world through Circe's eyes. I could see how she evolved and changed over the years, over the centuries. Like, best period book, definitely CIRCE. Favorite writer is J. Christoph, because I've read so far 2 individual series that he's written and I've loved both of them, so he's definitely been ticking a lot of boxes for me. Now, this best writer, I'm saying like the best writer I discovered in 2019, not of all time, because like that list is long, but the best writer I discovered in 2019, not necessarily a debut writer, because I've already chosen Casey McQuiston for that. And so best writer I found in 2019 was definitely J. Christoph. R.F. Kwong would not make this list because I discovered her last year. Alisa Cole would not make this list because even though she's a favorite now, I've only read one of her series. I need to read more of her series to be sure that she will be an absolute favorite across board. But yeah, definitely for me, J. Christoph. Best world building has to be The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kwong. Like, I was legitimately there. I was feeling all the emotions these characters were feeling. I was seeing this horror of war through their eyes, and my mind is still blown that she created such an incredible, richly detailed world for us to live in. Like, wow, what did we ever do to deserve such perfection, such glorious perfection? And then finally, there's best platonic relationship, and I'm giving this to Ren and Selene. I just like, find you a cousin, find you a bestie that will cut her hair and disguise herself as a man to follow you into a labyrinth where both of you will most likely die. Like, that is goals, that is friendship goals, that is platonic love goals. I'm here for this shit, I'm here for it. So yeah, that is my end of the year book awards tag done for 2019. I cannot wait to see all your answers, and like, I'm anticipating how my 2020 responses will go because I'm ready for it. But yeah, that is the video. If you liked it, please do not forget to give it a big thumbs up. Check out my other videos, subscribe if you want to. I make new videos every Sundays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and I'll see you soon. Until then, stay passionate, love books, love yourself. Bye.